The cold steel of the knife bit into my throat before I even registered the shadow behind me. One moment, I was choking on my own screams in that rain-slicked alley behind the reception hall, tasting blood and betrayal. The next, I was gasping awake in my old queen-sized bed, the faded floral comforter from my pre-divorce days tangled around my legs like a noose I'd escaped. I shot upright, heart hammering like a jackrabbit on meth, and stared at the alarm clock glowing 6:47 a.m., June 15th, 2018, the exact morning of my brother's engagement party, 2 years before the wedding that would end me. Holy shit. I was alive. Not just alive, back.
重生
They call it in those Korean dramas I binge-watched during chemo breaks. But this was no fantasy. This was me, Penelope Hargrove, 38 and fraying at the edges, handed a goddamn do-over by whatever cruel cosmic joke ran the universe. My hands flew to my neck, smooth and unmarked, no scar from the blade that had sliced through my jugular like it was butter. No phantom itch from the radiation burns that came later, when the accident they pinned on me turned into a wrongful conviction and a slow, rotting death in a prison infirmary. I stumbled to the bathroom mirror, flipping on the harsh fluorescent light that buzzed like a swarm of regrets. There I was, dark hair still thick and wavy. Not the chemo-ravaged bird's nest it became, green eyes sharp. Not sunken in pain, cheekbones high but not hollowed by starvation and spite. I looked like the Penelope who could still turn heads at a PDA meeting. Not the hollowed-out shell who'd begged for morphine in a cell that smelled like despair and Lysol. The memories crashed in like a tidal wave, unfiltered and vicious. It started with that text from my brother, Ethan, the golden boy of the Hargrove dynasty. Your daughter isn't welcome at my wedding. Keep her away.
Penny.
For once, do the right thing. Lily, my sweet, sharp-tongued 15-year-old at the time, wasn't even the issue. She was the collateral damage in Ethan's perfect little narrative, the one where I was the black sheep, the screw-up who dared to have a kid out of wedlock and then, horror of horrors, refused to abort her when the family doctor, our family doctor, suggested it quietly over brandy in Dad's study. But that text wasn't the beginning.
It was the spark.
Ethan's wedding to Victoria Langford, the Ice Queen heiress whose daddy owned half the real estate in downtown Seattle, was supposed to be the capstone of our fractured family's redemption arc. Dad had clawed his way from a trailer park in Tacoma to CEO of Hargrove Imports, importing luxury wines and artisanal cheeses that masked the rot underneath. Mom died when I was 10, accidentally overdosing on pills after Dad's affairs became too public to ignore. Ethan and I were the survivors, or so I thought. He rode the wave of Dad's approval. Law degree from Yale. Corner office by 30. I got the consolation prize, a job in Dad's shipping department. A shotgun wedding to a deadbeat artist who bolted when Lily came along. And a lifetime of being the cautionary tale. The betrayal deepened in layers. Like the sediment in those overpriced bottles Ethan peddled. Lily wasn't just unwelcome, she was a symbol. Ethan's fiancée,
Victoria,
came from old money, the kind that whispered about standards and lineage. My daughter, with her wild curls and biracial features, courtesy of her absentee black father, was a stain on the family photo op. But I went anyway, because fuck them. I showed up to the rehearsal dinner in a thrift store gown that hugged my curves like a middle finger, Lily's hand in mine, her braces glinting under the chandeliers as she whispered, "Mom." Why's Uncle Ethan looking at us like we stole his yacht? That night, after the toasts and the veiled barbs about my choices, I overheard it in the coat room. Victoria's shrill whisper to Ethan, If that little mongrel shows up, I swear, the Langfords will pull funding. Your father's empire crumbles without us. Ethan's laugh. Low and oily. Don't worry.
Babe.
Penny's desperate enough to stay away. She always caves. And then, the secret that gutted me. Dad's voice. Gravelly from cigars. Murmuring to Ethan. Good call. Remember what happened to your mother? She got soft. Let emotions ruin everything. We protect the legacy.
Son.
At all costs. Legacy. That word was poison ivy. Choking everything real. I didn't know then what at all costs truly meant. Not until the wedding day. When I'd forced my way in, Lily trailing like a ghost in her hand-me-down dress. The photographer, some freelance guy named Marco who Ethan had hired on the cheap, caught it all. My confrontation at the arched doors of the Pike Place ballroom. Ethan's face twisting from charm to contempt as he blocked us. You were warned.
Penny.
This is my day. Lily's tears.
Hot on my hand.
The guests murmuring behind silk fans. Victoria's smug smile from the altar. I'd stormed out, rage boiling, straight into that alley where Ethan's fixer, a shady PI named Rocco who'd tailed me for months, waited with a knife and a fabricated story about me embezzling from the company. The blade flashed. I fell, and the world went black. They pinned the theft on me posthumously. Of course, evidence planted. Witnesses bought. Lily went into foster care. Ethan's wedding photos scrubbed of any Hargrove scandal. Dad toasted to moving forward at my funeral. Ethan's arm around Victoria. Their first kid already on the way.
But now?
Now I was back. And the fury was a live wire under my skin. I splashed water on my face. The droplets cold as truth. 2018. Engagement party tonight at Dad's waterfront estate in Bellevue. Lily was 12. Still all gangly limbs and dreams of being a marine biologist. Not the hardened teen who'd aged out of the system by the time I rotted away. I had 2 years to unravel the threads, the affairs Dad buried. The accident that killed Mom, pills laced by his jealous mistress. I'd learn later. The way Ethan had siphoned company funds into offshore accounts while framing me as the weak link. Revenge wasn't a plan yet, it was instinct. Primal as a wolf scenting blood. But I'd make it surgical. First,
Protect Lily.
second, expose the rot. Third,
Well.
that text would never be sent. Because I'd burn Ethan's world before he could type it. I dried my face and pulled on jeans and a faded mariner's tee. The kind that screamed, unfuckwithable Seattle mom. Downstairs, Lily was at the kitchen island, inhaling cinnamon toast crunch in her unicorn pajamas, her curls a halo in the morning light. Mom, you okay? You look like you saw a ghost. I forced a grin, ruffling her hair.
Nah. Kiddo.
Just a bad dream.
Hey.
How about we skip Dad's party tonight? Do pizza and a movie instead? Her eyes lit up, milk dribbling down her chin. Can we watch Jaws? The shark one. Twist my arm. But inside, the gears turned. Skipping meant buying time. But I couldn't hide forever. I needed intel. My phone buzzed, Dad. As if summoned. Don't forget the party. Ethan's announcing something big. Wear something nice.
Penny.
For once. For once. The gall. I typed back. Wouldn't miss it. Then, I opened my laptop. Fingers flying. Time to dig. Hargrove Imports public filings were a joke, clean as a whistle. But I remembered the backdoor Ethan bragged about once. After too many IPAs at a Mariners game. A dummy email.
Ethan ha at Shellcorp. Net.
I fished it easy, same password as his high school locker combo. Because some habits die hard. Emails flooded in. Invoices for consulting fees to Rocco. Wire transfers to a Cayman account masked as charity donations. And there, buried in a thread with Dad, handled a sister problem before the wedding. Langfords are sniffing around the old irregularities. Can't have her asking questions. Irregularities. Mom's death. Reclassified as suicide to dodge the mistress's lawsuit. A warehouse fire in '05. Blamed on faulty wiring but really torched to hide substandard imports that killed 3 workers. Ethan's Yale tuition? Funded by skimming employee pensions. The legacy was a house of cards built on bodies. By noon, I'd copied it all to a thumb drive, hidden in Lily's stuffed octopus. Then, a call to an old college buddy. Now, a PI in Tacoma. Jenna, it's Penny. I need dirt on my family. Deep dirt. And yeah, it's personal. She laughed. That husky smoker's rasp. Hargroves? Honey, I've got files thicker than your ex's excuses. But it'll cost ya. Name your price. Money was tight. But Dad's loans, over the years, added up. I'd drain the piggy bank for this. The afternoon blurred. School drop-off for Lily. A quick stop at the library for VPN tips. Paranoia was my new best friend. And a thrift run for a killer red dress. Not for the party, but for the war. Because this time, I wouldn't crash the wedding. I'd orchestrate it. As dusk fell over Lake Washington, the estate loomed like a glass leviathan. All sharp angles and moneyed indifference. I dropped Lily at a sitter's, my neighbor Mrs. Patel, who baked killer samosas, and drove up in my rattling Honda, the red dress clinging like armor. Ethan greeted me at the door, all teeth and cologne. Victoria on his arm in pearls that screamed trust fund.
Sis.
You made it. Looking festive. His eyes flicked over me. Dismissive. Wouldn't miss your big news, I said, air-kissing Victoria, who smelled like Chanel and contempt. Congrats on the rock. Or is it the merger? He chuckled, steering me inside. Both. Actually. Dad's handing me the reins soon. Time to modernize. Modernize. Code for gutting the union jobs and laundering more through Victoria's daddy. Guests milled, suits from the yacht club. Socialites with Botox smiles, clinking flutes of Dad's imported bubbly. I nursed a seltzer. Ears perked. Then, the announcement. Ethan on the terrace.
Victoria beaming.
Dad nodding approval. We're thrilled to share that Victoria and I are tying the knot next summer. And with the Langford partnership, Hargrove's future is brighter than ever. Applause rippled. I clapped too, slow and deliberate, my mind racing. Next summer. Plenty of time to sow chaos. But as the party devolved into schmoozing, I slipped away to Dad's study. The oak-paneled sanctum where he'd once loaned me hush money to keep quiet about Lily's dad. The safe was laughably basic, combination his wedding date to Mom. May 14th, '89. Inside, ledgers. Yellowed photos. A vial labeled for emergencies. Pills. The same batch that took Mom. My phone vibrated. Jenna, got something hot. Call me. I stepped onto the balcony. Rain starting to patter on the awning.
Spill.
Your brother's not just skimming. He's got a side hustle, importing knockoff opioids through the wine shipments. Feds are circling, but Daddy's greasing palms. And Penny, that warehouse fire? Ethan lit the match. Insurance payouts saved the company. Nausea hit, but I swallowed it. Proof. Coming your way. But watch your back. Rocco's on payroll.
Click.
I pocketed the phone. Rain soaking my dress. Ethan found me there, leaning on the rail. Deep thoughts.
Cease.
Or just jealous? I turned, smile razor sharp. Just wondering how Mom would feel about all this. Legacy and all. His face tightened. Just a flicker. Mom's gone. Let it rest.
Oh.
I plan to. Raise a glass to the future. Ethan. I clinked his flute with my empty hand, then walked away. The first seeds of vengeance taking root. That night, back home with Lily snoring beside me after Jaws, I plotted. No rash moves, this was chess, not checkers. Step 1. Build an alliance. Jenna could handle surveillance. Step 2. Leak to the right ears. A journalist at the Seattle Times owed me a favor from a shipping scandal tip years back. Step 3. The wedding. I'd be there. Not as the beggar at the gate, but the queen toppling the board. But doubt crept in as I stared at the ceiling, shadows dancing from the streetlight. What about Lily? Exposing them meant dragging her through the mud, tabloid fodder. Foster care flashbacks if it went south. Was revenge worth scarring her again? By dawn, resolve hardened. They'd already scarred us once. This time, I'd make sure the blade turned back on them. The next 6 months were a masterclass in controlled demolition. I played the good sister, the dutiful daughter, all while threading the noose tighter around Ethan's neck. Morning started with Lily's laughter over pancakes, blueberry, her favorite, drowned in syrup that stuck to everything, and evenings ended with her homework, her dreams spilling out like confetti. Mom, did you know orcas have dialects? Like, different pods have different clicks. I'd nod, heart swelling, because in this life, I'd shield her from the storm I was brewing. Work was my camouflage. Dad kept me in the shipping logs, buried in manifests for Merlot from Tuscany and Brie from Normandy, fronts for the fentanyl-laced supplements Ethan funneled through. I flagged discrepancies subtly. Anonymous tips to OSHA about safety violations. Whispers to union reps about pension shortfalls. Nothing traceable. Just enough to make the water muddy. Jenna became my shadow operative. A chain-smoking bulldog with a laptop full of skeletons. We met in dive bars off I-5. Nursing IPAs amid the hum of jukeboxes, playing Springsteen. Your pop's mistress? Still alive. Running a B&B in Spokane. Hates his guts. And Ethan? Banged the caterer at last year's gala. Victoria knows. Uses it for leverage. Leverage.
The word tasted like ash.
Victoria wasn't the villain I'd painted. She was a cog. Ambitious and armored. But complicit. One rainy Tuesday in October, Jenna slid a dossier across the scarred oak table at the Rusty Anchor. The big one, Mom's death. Autopsy buried. But I pulled strings. Pills tampered with, overdose intentional. Dad's orders. To silence her after she found the ledgers. Ethan was 18. Helped cover it. I stared at the photos, Mom. Young and laughing in a sundress. Arm around teen Ethan at a Mariners game. My throat closed. Why tell her to abort Lily?
Then,
If they're monsters.
Genelia Marlboro.
Exhaling smoke like dragon breath. Control.
Penny.
You were the loose and single mom. No husband to muzzle you. Lily, a reminder of your independence. They wanted you broken. Compliant.
Broken.
Yeah. They'd succeeded once. Not this time. I paid her in cash from Dad's latest gift, $5,000 for car repairs, and drove home through sheets of rain. Windshield wipers slashing like accusations. Lily was at ballet, her leotard smeared with glitter. I picked her up, her cheeks flushed, and we blasted Taylor Swift on the way home. Windows down despite the downpour. Normalcy. My armor. But cracks formed. Dad summoned me to the estate for family dinner, code for interrogation. Ethan and Victoria were there. Her belly just starting to show, scandal's fruit. Over steak au poivre that tasted like cardboard. Dad probed. Heard whispers at the office. Penny. OSHA sniffing around. You wouldn't know anything, would you? I speared a carrot. Innocent as pie.
Gosh. Dad.
I'm just pushing papers. Maybe Ethan's modernization's stirring the pot. Ethan's fork paused midair, eyes narrowing. Careful, sis. Snakes in the grass these days.
Victoria Titered.
Hand on her bump.
Oh.
Ethan. She's family.
Though.
Penelope.
Have you thought about
Settling down? For Lily's sake. The room tilted. Settling down, like erasing Lily's dad. Like I hadn't fought tooth and nail for her. I smiled. Saccharine. Lily's perfect as is. Speaking of, Ethan, wedding plans? Invites out yet. He relaxed. Preening. Next month. Black tie. Pike Place Ballroom. You'll be there, right?
sans drama?
Wouldn't dream of it.
Lie.
Sweet as Victoria's sorbet. That night, I emailed the Times journalist, Carla Ruiz, sharp Latina with a Pulitzer for corporate exposés. Tip, Hargrove Imports. Opioids via wine shipments.
Check shell core.
Sources anon. Attached, redacted emails. Just enough to hook. Her reply pinged at 2 a.m. This is dynamite. Meat, coffee, neutral ground.
We did.
At a Starbucks in Capitol Hill, amid hipsters typing manifestos on Macs. Carla's eyes gleamed like a shark's. If this pans out, it's front page. But Hargroves have lawyers, deep pockets. I've got deeper grudges, I said, sipping my latte. Just make it hurt. As winter gripped Seattle, gray skies. Relentless drizzle, tensions ratcheted. Rocco tailed me twice. I spotted his Crown Vic in my rear view. Lost him in a U-turn at the ferry terminal. Ethan cornered me at Christmas brunch. The estate strung with lights that mocked our darkness. Lily was in the solarium, building Lego Orcus with cousins who'd ghost us later. Penny, level with me, he hissed. Eggnog breath hot. You're stirring shit. OSHA? The unions? Dad's pissed. I adjusted Lily's scarf on the coat rack. Casual. Me?
Nah.
Maybe it's karma.
Bro.
For Mom. For everything. His hand clamped my arm.
Bruiseworthy.
Don't. You don't know what you're fucking with. I wrenched free. Voice low.
Oh.
I know. The fire. The pills. The knife waiting in the alley. Try me, Ethan. He paled, releasing. You're crazy. Crazy's what got me this far. I walked out, Lily waving from the car, oblivious. Spring thawed the ice, but not the chill. Victoria's baby shower was a pastel nightmare, diaper cakes and monogrammed booties at a vineyard outside Woodinville. I went, gift in hand, a onesie with future CEO embroidered, irony dripping. Because reconnaissance. There, amid mimosas and murmurs, I overheard Victoria on the phone. Yes.
Daddy.
The merger's locked. Ethan's. Pliable. Once the wedding's done, we consolidate. Pliable.
God.
She played him like a fiddle. But then, the twist that nearly broke my stride, her call to a clinic. Reschedule the amnio? Fine. But if it's not viable, we'll handle it. Discreetly. Viable. Echoes of my own whispered horrors. For a heartbeat, pity flickered for her, for the child already commodified. But pity was a luxury. I filed it away. Jenna's updates escalated. Feds bit. Raid incoming on the warehouses, timing TBD. And Rocco? He's got a rap sheet. Assault. Extortion. Ethan's got him on speed dial. I upgraded security, deadbolts. A taser in my purse. Self-defense classes at the Y with Lily, who loved the kicks. She noticed the shift. Her 12-year-old intuition sharp.
Mom.
Why are you jumpy? Like, more than usual. Life's an adventure. Bug, I said, braiding her hair. Gotta be ready for sharks. Sharks don't live in puddles. Mom. Wise kid. Summer hit like a fever dream. 2019 bleeding into wedding season. Invites arrived, gold embossed. My name in smaller font than the out-of-towners. Lily's excluded. Of course. With a note, children under 16 omitted for elegance. Elegance. Bullshit. I RSVP'd yes. Then called Marco, the photographer from my memories. Found him via LinkedIn, freelance still. Scraping by. Mr. Vasquez? Penelope Hargrove. Heard you're shooting my brother's wedding. Need a second shooter? He paused. Wary. Hargrove? Yeah. Ethan's gig. Why? Family discount.
Plus.
I've got a proposition. Discreet shots. Off the record. The real story. Another pause. I don't do drama. Lady. $5,000 says you do.
Cash.
Post-event. Silence. Then, email specs.
Done.
My Trojan horse. Camera in hand. The eve of the wedding. Dad called. Penny. Proud of you. Showing up mature. Ethan's nervous, big day. Mature, I echoed, packing Lily off to Mrs. Patel's for the weekend. Tell him it's all downhill from here. He chuckled. Oblivious. Love you, kid.
Love.
The word hung. Bitter. I hung up, slipped the thumb drive into my clutch, the full dossier now, with Carla's byline drafts attached. Tomorrow, the drop. But sleep evaded, ghosts crowding my bed. Mom's face, soft and betrayed. Lily's future, if I failed. Ethan's knife, glinting in rain. Revenge was a drug, addictive and corrosive. One wrong move, and I'd drag us all under. Morning broke, clear. A rarity in Seattle. Blue skies mocking the storm inside. I drove to Pike Place. The ballroom a wedding cake of glass and guilt. Valet took my Civic like it was a Bentley. Inside. Chaos orchestrated. Florists fussing over peonies.
Cáteres plating salmon en croute.
Ethan
Tucks half on.
barked at a groomsman. Where's the ring bearer? And, Victoria, tell her no more calls. I slipped in. Red dress from last year, now my talisman. Camera bag slung like a purse. Marco nodded from the shadows. Lens capped. Ready for the show? Lights.
Camera.
Carnage, I murmured. Guests arrived in waves, suits.
Gowns.
The elite of Puget Sound. Dad clapped Ethan's back. Victoria gliding in white lace. Belly artfully draped. No family photos yet, those came post-ceremony. The text came at 2 p.m. As planned, Ethan's phone buzzed. My spoof number. Your daughter isn't welcome? Too late. Photographers got it all. Attached, a mock-up of the confrontation photo. Doctored but damning. His face drained as he read, eyes scanning the crowd. Found me by the bar. Lily nowhere, because she wasn't here, but he didn't know that yet. What the fuck? Penny. I sipped champagne.
Cool.
Surprise?
Bro.
You built this stage. I'm just directing. Victoria waddled over. Sensing blood. Ethan? What's wrong? He pocketed the phone. Forced grin. Nothing. Let's get hitched. The ceremony unfolded like a bad rom-com, vows exchanged under a floral arch. Rings sliding on with mechanical precision. I shot candids, Marco's feed to my phone, capturing Ethan's twitch. Victoria's forced glow.
Then.
The recessional. Guests filing to cocktails. That's when I made my move. Slipped to the coat room, where servers stashed phones. Ethan's jacket hung there. Careless. I palmed his cell. Cloned it in seconds. Burner app from Jenna, then returned it. Data flowing. Text to Rocco, handle her now. Calls to Dad, she knows too much. Back in the hall.
Toastrang.
Dad's. To new beginnings. Ethan's, strained. Eyes on me. Then.
Mine.
I clinked a spoon on crystal. Voice carrying. To family. The kind that bleeds for each other. And the kind that stabs in the back. Cheers to secrets. May they all come out in the wash. Murmurs rippled. Victoria's eyes narrowed. Ethan's jaw clenched. The real hook dropped at cake cutting. Carla Ruiz. Posing as a society columnist. Sidled up. Penelope? Great event. Mind if I quote you on the legacy bit? Quote away, I said.
Loud.
Hargrove's got layers. Like an onion or a bomb. Guests tittered nervously. Phones buzzed. Alerts from the Times app. Carla's embargo lifted early. Headlines: Hargrove imports linked to opioid smuggling. CEO's son implicated. Chaos erupted. Dad's face purpled, lunging for a server's tablet. Ethan bolted for the exit.
Victoria trailing.
Heels clicking fury. You bitch, he snarled at me. Rocco materializing from the crowd like a bad sequel. But Marco was there. Camera flashing real shots now. The uninvited enforcer caught mid-threat. Feds swarmed minutes later. Tipped by my anonymous ping. Warrant served. Guests scattering like roaches. I stood amid the wreckage. Champagne flute in hand, as cuffs clicked on Ethan's wrists. Told you.
Bro.
Lights.
Camera.
Dad grabbed my arm. Wheezing. You did this? For what?
Us.
For Mom, I whispered. For Lily. For me. He sagged.
Defeated.
Victoria, forgotten in the melee, clutched her belly, water breaking. Premature drama. As ambulances wailed, I slipped out, drive-through coffee in hand, heading to fetch Lily. Victory tasted like freedom, sharp and sweet. But revenge? It left echoes. The fallout was biblical. A Pacific Northwest monsoon of subpoenas, headlines, and hushed voicemails from cousins I hadn't spoken to since puberty. Hargrove imports shuttered overnight, FBI tape fluttering like yellow crime scene ribbons around the Bellevue HQ. Agents hauling servers like they were the Ark of the Covenant. Dad lawyered up in a penthouse suite downtown, his empire evaporating faster than morning fog off Elliott Bay.
Ethan?
Bail denied. Remanded to King County lockup, orange jumpsuit clashing with his waspy pallor. Victoria decamped to her family's Hamptons estate. Baby boy, named Preston Hargrove Langford, delivered via C-section amid paparazzi flashbulbs, her daddy's PR machine spinning it as resilience under fire.
Me?
I was the arsonist hailed as whistleblower. Carla's series, The Vintage of Vice, how one family bottled betrayal, dropped like napalm. 3 installments in The Stranger and syndication nationwide. My anonymized quotes, a sister scorned, painted me as the tragic heroine, Lily as the innocent ward. Offers trickled in, book deals from publishers sniffing memoir gold, TEDx slots on corporate ethics, even a producer from a true crime pod wanting my exclusive. I turned them down flat. Spotlight was Ethan's drug, mine was shadow. Lily noticed the shift immediately, her 13-year-old radar pinging over breakfast burritos one crisp September morning.
Mom.
Why's everyone staring at the grocery store? And that lady with the notebook, journalist? I buttered her tortilla, casual as lake water. Old family business. Bug. Boring adult stuff. Eat your eggs. She eyed me, fork poised. Uncle Ethan's on the news. In jail.
Did you?
Tell on him. Kids. Straight to the jugular. I set down the knife, sat across from her at our Formica table, the one scarred from years of crafts and spills.
Yeah. Lil.
I did.
He
hurt people. A lot of people. Including stuff that affected us. Her brows furrowed, braces glinting. Like not inviting me to the wedding? Like that. And worse. I hesitated, weighing how much truth a kid could swallow without choking. Your uncle and grandpa. They did bad things to keep money flowing.
Lit.
Cheated. Hurt folks. I couldn't let it keep going. She chewed slowly, processing. So, you're like a superhero? But
Like
the grumpy kind. I laughed. Relief flooding. More like the messy kind. Superheroes don't cry in the shower. Everyone cries in the shower.
Mom.
It's waterproof. She grinned. And just like that, the ice broke. We binged The Crown that weekend, dissecting royal scandals over popcorn, history as proxy for our own soap opera. But normalcy was a tightrope. Jenna collected her bonus, a finder's fee from the DOJ whistleblower fund, and vanished to Baja, texting beach selfies with you owe me margaritas. Hargrove. Marco? He sold the confrontation shots to Getty, Ethan snarl. My defiance, fetching 6 figures. We split it. He bought a studio in Fremont. I paid off the Civic and stashed the rest for Lily's college. Because dreams don't fund themselves. Dad's first plea came via courier, a crisp envelope. His scrawl shaky. Penny, we need to talk. For Lily's sake. The will, everything's yours if you recant. Recant. as if truth was a tide I could turn. I burned it in the sink. Flames dancing blue. Then called his lawyer. Tell him no. And the will?
Torch it.
Lily gets what's fair, clean. The lawyer spluttered. Penelope. He's offering the estate. The vineyard shares. Tell him I'd rather have Mom back.
Click.
Ethan's was sloppier. Smuggled via a guard's wife at visiting hours. Jenna forwarded it. Amused. You think you won? This isn't over. Rocco's out on bond. Watch your mirrors. Chills spidered my spine. But I forwarded it to the prosecutor. Tampering Exhibit A. Winter 2019 hardened into resolve. I quit Hargrove, officially dissolved anyway, and landed a gig at a nonprofit, auditing supply chains for fair trade coffee. Steady pay, flexible hours, coworkers who didn't reek of entitlement. Lily thrived straight as swim team MVP. Her first crush, a lanky kid named Jamal from debate club. Biracial like her. Debating reparations over cafeteria pizza. But the ghosts lingered. Nightmares of the alley. Rain pooling red. Ethan's shadow merging with Rocco's. I woke sweating. Taser under the pillow. Lily's door cracked to hear her breathe. Therapy helped Dr.
When?
A no bullshit Vietnamese American with a laugh like wind chimes. Revenge isn't closure.
Penny.
It's a contract with the past. What's your exit clause?
Lily happy, I said.
Us free. Good.
Now.
What's the controversial call? The one that scares you? I knew it instantly. Confronting Victoria. Not for spite, but truth. She'd played the victim card hard, interviews decrying family betrayal, her plucky single mom, arc post-Ethan. But that clinic call echoed. The casual viable. If she'd weaponized it against me once. What about her own kid? I reached out via LinkedIn, polite. Professional. Coffee? No press. Just women. She bit. Wary. Suggesting a neutral spot. The Olympic Cafe in Pike Place. Tourist Central. Alibis built in. She arrived late. Preston in a Bjorn. Her post-baby glow edged with exhaustion. Designer jeans. Blouse untucked, Seattle casual masking the cracks. Penelope. Bold move. Coffee first, I said, ordering lattes and a scone for the baby. We sat by the window. Fishmongers hollering outside. The market's chaos a buffer. She bounced Preston, who gummed a teething ring. What do you want? Autograph. Forgiveness. Truth, I said. The abortion push. Why? Her eyes flicked to the baby, softening a fraction. You think I'm a monster? Maybe I am. Daddy's expectations. They're iron. Ethan promised a dynasty.
Lily complicated that.
You were. Inconvenient. Me? Or her? I nodded at Preston. She stiffened. He's perfect. But if he weren't? A shrug. Tiny but seismic. We adapt.
Adapt.
Code for discard. Rage simmered. But I banked it. And now, Ethan's rotting. Dad's broke. Adapt how? Langford absorbs the assets. Clean slate. Her smile was glass. You exposed them. Respect. But don't mistake pity for alliance. No pity, I said. Just a warning. Hurt my daughter, any daughter, and I'll bury you next. Preston fussed. She soothed him. Humming off-key. For a beat. We were just moms flawed. Fierce. Then she stood.
Deal.
And Penelope? The wedding text. I wrote it. Ethan chickened out. Twist of the knife. I nodded. Noted. She left. And I sat. Latte cooling. The market's pulse syncing with mine. Controversial? Yeah. Empathy for the enemy. It humanized her. Muddied my black and white vengeance.
Dr.
Gwen would love this session. Spring 2020 brought COVID like a sucker punch, lockdowns, masks, the world shrinking to Zoom squares and pantry raids. Hargrove's corpse was picked clean, bankruptcy filings. Dad selling the estate to a tech bro for crypto scraps. He moved to a condo in Ballard. Calling weekly. Voice whiskey rough. Penny, I was wrong. About everything. Come see me? I did. Once. Lily in tow. The place smelled of takeout Thai and regret, framed photos of mom dusted. But faded. Lily hugged him stiffly. He slipped her a check. For college.
Kiddo. No strings.
She pocketed it. Eyes on me for cues. We talked circuitous. Weather. Mariners' slim World Series hopes. Then. The gut punch. I laced the pills.
Penny.
For her. She knew too much. The skimming started early. To fund Ethan's tuition. I couldn't lose it all. Confession hung. Heavy. Lily excused herself to the balcony. Staring at the sound. I leaned in. Why tell me now? Cancer, he rasped. Pulling up his shirt, liver. Stage 4. Jaundice bloom. Months.
Tops.
Need absolution. Absolution. The word curdled. You don't get it from me. But. Lily might visit. Alone. He nodded. Tears tracking. Thank you. Outside. Lily whispered. He's sad.
Mom.
Like a deflated balloon. Yeah. Bug. People are. Ethan's trial loomed. Federal court. Opioid charges stacking like Jenga. I testified. Voice steady. Timelines. Emails. The alley attack reconstructed from forensics. I demanded post-Trung-Sin. His eyes met mine across the room. Not hate, defeat. Rocco flipped first. Plea deal for immunity. Singing like a canary about the knife. The frame job. Victoria testified too. The betrayed fiancé. Her poise Oscar-worthy. Cross-exam. The prosecutor dropped the amnio bombshell, clinic records subpoenaed. She cracked. Just a hair. It was hypothetical.
Jury didn't buy it.
Ethan got 25.
No parole.
As marshals let him out, he mouthed,
Sorry.
Too late. Summer waned. Dad fading. Lily and I visited weekly, her reading him Orca books. Him chuckling weekly. My controversial call? Forgiving enough to let her grieve a grandfather. Even a monster reformed by mortality. One night, as fireflies blinked over the condo balcony, Dad gripped my hand. You're stronger than me.
Penny.
Always were. Learned from the best lies, I said.
Soft.
He died in October. Leaves turning gold. Well, left scraps. Vineyard to Lily. Estate proceeds to charity. My insistence. Funeral was small. Rain lashed. Victoria sent lilies.
Beautiful.
Winter solstice. Lily and I lit a Yule log in our tiny yard. Flames crackling secrets.
Mom.
Was it worth it? The fighting. I pulled her close. Curls tickling my chin. Every scar. Because we're here. Whole. but whole was illusion. Rocco walked, deal too sweet. Whispers of his shadow lingered. A sequel unspoken. 2021 dawned with vaccines and variants, the world clawing back to brunch dates and office hugs. But my truce with the past was fragile as rice paper. Lily turned 14 in a backyard bash, balloons tethered to the fence. Jamal shyly gifting her a conch shell for ocean sounds, her laughter a balm on old wounds. I watched from the deck, seltzer in hand, the non-profit gig steady but soul-sucking, endless spreadsheets auditing cocoa farms in Ghana. Echoes of Hargrove's sins in every unfair wage. The controversial decision hit like a rogue wave that spring. Carla called. Voice electric. Penny. Off record first. Victoria's cracking. Post-trial depression. They're saying. But sources? She's talking. About the family. All of it. All of it. Mom's death. The fire. The opioids, the dominoes I toppled. But not the full cascade.
Victoria,
Stripped of Ethan's buffer. Was unraveling. Therapy leaks to TMZ. Cryptic instas about sacrifices for sons. Preston. 18 months now. Her anchor and albatross. Should I reach out? I asked DR.
when?
Our session's virtual now. Her face pixelated but kind. She tilted her head, thoughtful. What's the cost?
To you.
To Lily.
Cost.
The word nod. Empathy had crept in, uninvited. Victoria's shrug at the cafe. The hum to her fussing boy. If I ignored her, she spiraled alone. A loose end that could snag Lily later. Custody battles. Society whispers. If I engaged. Vulnerability. The risk of forgiveness diluting my vengeance. I engaged. A text. Neutral. Saw the posts. Coffee?
Nostrines.
Her reply. Tomorrow. Same spot. Olympic Cafe again. Market bustle, a white noise chorus. She looked wrecked, hair in a messy bun. Yoga pants under a trench. Preston toddling at her feet in tiny Nikes. Penelope. Didn't expect this. Me neither. We ordered her black coffee, mine herbal tea, and let Preston smear scone on a napkin. His giggles a bridge. She stirred sugar. Mechanical. Therapy's a bitch. Unpacks everything. Ethan. He was my out.
Now?
Daddy's cutting strings. Says I chose wrong.
Chose wrong.
The Langford litany. And Preston. Perfect. But the pressure. It echoes. What I said to you. About viability? I'd never. But the thought. Tears welled. She dashed them. I'm sorry. Penny. For the text. For pushing you out. It was fear.
Fear.
The great equalizer. I nodded. Throat tight. I get it. Mine was Lily. Still is. We talked then. Raw. Her sterile upbringing. Daddy's mergers over bedtime stories. My shotgun solitude. Fighting for snap cards and school fees. Preston babbled, Mama. And for a moment, the cafe faded. Two women. Scarred by the same blade. Stitching wounds. Truce, she said finally, extending a manicured hand. Truce.
Shake.
Controversial as hell, befriending the Ice Queen, but it felt like exhaling. Words spread in ripples. Lily met Preston at a park playdate, Victoria's olive branch, watching him chase ducks while we benched. Awkward then easy.
He's cute, Lily said.
like a mini shark. Popsar. Laughter bubbled.
Tentative.
Dad's estate settled that summer. Lily's vineyard shares auction for her trust. A tidy sum for marine bio dreams. We road-tripped the Oregon coast. Just us, crabbing in Newport. Tide pools and yachets. Her collecting urchin spines. Me snapping Polaroids. Freedom tasted like salt spray and s'mores. The Honda's radio blasting Beyoncé anthems. But twists wait in the shallows. Rocco surfaced in August. A certified letter to my P.O. box, Jenna's tip-off. Her retirement gig consulting for indies. Hargrove owed me. You took it.
Meet.
Or Lily pays. Coordinates: an abandoned warehouse off Aurora. The same district as the fire.
Bait.
Obvious. But my pulse jackhammered. Call the cops? He'd vanish. A ghost with grudges. Ignore? He'd escalate. The do-over gift soured. Trung Sin didn't erase predators. I armed up. Taser. Pepper spray. Marco's old Nikon rigged with a body cam, his gift post-trial. For art. Drove at dusk. Warehouse looming like a concrete tomb. Graffiti tags bleeding in the rain. Inside. Fluorescence flickered. Puddles reflecting my boots. Rocco. Echo. Footsteps. Then him, stocky. Scarred. Pistol loose in his grip.
Bitch.
Ethan's rotting cause of you. Ethan rotted himself. Step forward. Cam rolling. This ends tonight. Drop it. He laughed. Wet and wrong.
Nah.
Bullets cheaper than therapy. The shot cracked mine. Taser prongs embedding. Volts dropping him like a sack. He convulsed. Gun skittering. I kicked it away. Phone dialing 911. Assault in progress. Send backup. Cops swarmed. His prior's a rap sheet symphony. As they cuffed him, frothing curses, I exhaled. Vengeance's final echo silenced. Fall painted the sound in fire. Lily's freshman year at Roosevelt High, a whirlwind. AP Bio. Debate nationals. Jamal's hand in hers at homecoming. Victoria and I evolved to brunch. Preston and Lily trading slime recipes. Her divorce final. Langford's string snipped. She started a nonprofit too, maternal rights advocacy. Ironic redemption. My high trio? Not the trial. Not the raid, the quiet dawn on New Year's 2022. Lily and I on the balcony. Mug steaming. Mom, you ever think about before? Like, if you could redo stuff every day.
Kid.
But aloud.
Nah.
This is the good take. She leaned on my shoulder, breath fogging the rail. Love you. Superhero grumpy. Love you more. Shark pup. The twist landed soft. No gut punch. A letter from Ethan. Prison stationery. Postmarked Walla Walla. Sis. Therapy here's mandatory. Turns out, I'm the monster. Not excuses, actions. If Lily ever wants to know her uncle. Doors open. Forgive?
Nah.
Understand? Maybe. I burned it. Ashes to wind. Understanding was Victoria's lane. Mine was forward.
Get to go home. I'll be gig.
Neither pure. This life. Remade. Was gray as Seattle skies. Laced with sunbreaks. The alley scar? Invisible. But etched. Betrayals mended. Not erased. I'd toppled thrones. But the real win was Lily's unscarred laugh. Her dreams unchained. As cherry blossoms dusted the yard that spring, I framed Marco's wedding shot, not the confrontation, but a candid of Lily imagined, photoshopped in post-revenge us at a beach. Waves crashing.
Free.
The text? A relic. Mocked on a mug. Your daughter's always welcome anywhere. Revenge wasn't the end. Living was. Epilogue whispers. Jenna's wedding in Baja. Me toasting with salt-rimmed glasses. Victoria's TED Talk. Lily in the front row. Cheering. And me, auditing truths, one manifest at a time. Trung Sin's gift, not perfection, but power. To choose. To heal. To roar. In the end, the photographer captured everything, not just the fall, but the rise.